Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Mataji, please can you do Mangalacharan?
Yes, Mataji. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-salakaya Tatsunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapatakalam Shri Gurun Vaisnavamsam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Raghunatam Visham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parivana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakanvitam Sam Hare Bandhu Jagatpati Gopi Sagopi Priya Vanchakalpataruvasya Kripa Sindhuvasya Patitanam Pavanebho Vaisnaveho Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanandam Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prasahine Nirvisesa Srinyavadi Pasakkadesitarine Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, you want to start reading chapter 15, King Prithu's appearance and coronation.
Mataji, your voice was breaking. Did you tell me to read?
Yeah, if you can.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. But your voice is breaking in between.
Mataji, your voice is breaking.
Okay, from your side. Okay, I'll read. Text 1, translation. The great sage Maitreya continued. My dear Vidura, thus the Brahmanas and the great sage again and again churned the two arms of King Vena's dead body. As a result, a male and female couple came out of his arm. Text 2. The great sages were highly learned in Vedic knowledge. When they saw the male and female born of the arms of Vena's body, they were very pleased, for they could understand that the couple was an expansion of a planetary position of Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. The method adopted by the great sages and scholars who were learned in Vedic knowledge was perfect. They removed all the reactions of King Vena's sinful activities by seeing that King Venas first gave birth to Bahuka, described in the previous chapter. After King Vena's body was thus purified, a male and female came out of it, and the great sage could understand that this was an expansion of Lord Vishnu. This expansion, of course, was not Vishnu Tattva but a specifically empowered expansion of Lord Vishnu known as Avish. Text 3. The great sage said the male is a plenary expansion of the power of Lord Vishnu, who maintains the entire universe, and the female is a plenary expansion of the goddess of fortune, who is never separated from the Lord. Purport. The significance of the goddess of fortunes never being separated from the Lord is clearly mentioned herein. People in the material world are very fond of the goddess of fortune and they want her favor in the form of riches. They should know, however, that the goddess of fortune is inseparable from Lord Vishnu. Materialists should understand that the goddess of fortune should be worshipped along the Lord Vishnu and should not be regarded separately. Materialists seeking the favor of the goddess of fortune must worship Lord Vishnu and Lakshmi together to maintain material opulence. If a materialist follow the policy of Ravana who wants to separate Sita from Lord Ramachandra, the process of separation will vanquish him. Those who are very rich and have taken favor of goddess of fortune in this world must engage their money in the service of the Lord. In this way, they can continue in their opulent position without disturbance. Text 4. Of the two, the male will be able to expand his reputation throughout the world. His name will be Prithu. Indeed, he will be the first among kings. Purport. There are different types of incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Shastra, it is said that Garuda, the carrier of Vishnu, and Lord Shiva and Ananta are all very powerful incarnation of Brahman feature of Lord. Similarly, Sachipati or Indra, the king of heaven, is an incarnation of the lusty feature of the Lord. Aniruddha is an incarnation of Lord's mind. Similarly, King Prithu is an incarnation of ruling force of the Lord. Thus, the saintly person and the great sages predicted the future activities of King Prithu, who was already explained as a partial incarnation of a planetary expansion of the Lord. Text 5. The female has such beautiful teeth and beautiful qualities that she will actually beautify the ornament she wears. Her name will be Archie. In the future, she will accept King Prithu as her husband. Text 6. In the form of King Prithu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has appeared through a part of his potency to protect the people of the world. The goddess of fortune is the constant companion of the Lord, and therefore she has incarnated partially as Archie to become the King Prithu's queen. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord says uh, that whatever one sees an extraordinary power, he should conclude that a specific partial representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present. There are innumerable such personalities, but not all of them are direct Vishnu Tattva, planetary expansions of the Lord. Many living entities are classified among the Shakti Tattva. Such incarnations empowered for a specific purpose are known as Shaktavesh Avatar. King Prathu was such a Shaktavesh Avatar of the Lord. Similarly, Archie, King Prathu's wife, was a Shaktavesh Avatar of the goddess of fortune. Text 7. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Viduraji, at that time, all the Brahmanas highly praised and glorified King Prithu, and the best singers of Gandharvaloka chanted his glories. The inhabitants of Siddhaloka showered flowers, and the beautiful women in the heavenly planet danced in ecstasy. Text 8. Conch shell, bugles, drum, kettledrum vibrated in outer space. Great sages, forefathers, and personalities from the heavenly planets all came to earth from various planetary systems. Text 9 and 10. Lord Brahma, the master of the universe, arrived there accompanied by all the demigods and their chiefs. Seeing the lines of Lord Vishnu's palm on King Prithu's right hand and impression of lotus flower on the sole of his feet, Lord Brahma could understand that King Prithu was a partial representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one whose palm bears the sign of a disc as well as such lines should be considered a partial representation and incarnation of Supreme Lord. Purport: there is a system by which one can detect an incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nowadays, it has become a cheap fashion to accept any rascal as an incarnation of God. But from this incident, we can see that Lord Brahma personally examined the hand and feet of King Prithu for a specific sign. In these prophecies, the learned sages and Brahmanas accept Prithu Maharaj as a planetary partial expansion of the Lord. During the presence of Lord Krishna, however, the king declared himself Vasudev and Lord Krishna killed him. Before accepting someone as an incarnation of God, one should verify his identity according to symptoms mentioned in the Shastra. Without these symptoms, the pretender is subject to be killed by the authorities for pretending to be an incarnation of God. Text 11. Mataji, do you want to read? Snehvati Mataji? Hare Krishna?
The learned Brahmanas who were very attached to the. Yes, Mataji, can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes. The learned Brahmanas who were very attached to the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies then arranged for the king's coronation. People from all directions collected all the different paraphernalia for the ceremony. Thus, everything was complete. All the rivers, seas, hills, mountains, serpents, cows, birds, animals, heavenly planets, the earthly planet, and all other living entities collected various presentations according to their ability to offer the king. Text 13 Translation. Thus the great king Prithu, exquisitely dressed with garments and ornaments, was coronated and placed on the throne. The king and his wife Archie, who was also exquisitely ornamented, appeared exactly like fire. Text 14 Translation. The great sage continued, "My dear Vidura, Kubera presented the great king Prithu with a golden throne. The demigod Varuna presented him with an umbrella that constantly sprayed fine particles of water and was as brilliant as the moon." Text 15 Translation. The demigod of air, Vayu, presented King Prithu with two whisks, samaras of hair. The king of religion, Dharma, presented him with a flower garland which would expand his fame. The king of heaven, Indra, presented him with a valuable helmet, and the superintendent of jade, Yaraja, presented him with a scapular crown. Text 16 Translation. The demigod of earth, water, fire, and earth presented King Prithu with
Mataji, we cannot hear you. Mataji, please read the last line of 15th, text 15 translation. The superintendent of death, Yamraja, represents him with a scepter with which to rule the world. Continue, Mataji. Oh, she left. Text 16. Lord Brahma presented King Prithu with a protective garment made of spiritual knowledge. Bharti Saraswati, the wife of Brahma, gave him a transcendental necklace. Lord Vishnu presented him with a Sudarshan disc, and Lord Vishnu's wife, the goddess of fortune, gave him imperishable opulence. Purport: all the demigods present various gifts to King Prithu, Hari, an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of God and known as Upendra in the heavenly planet. Present the king with the Sudarshan disc. It should be understood that this Sudarshan disc is not exactly the same type of Sudarshan disc used by the personality of Godhead Krishna or Vishnu. Since Maharaj Prithu was partial representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's power, the Sudarshan disc given to him represent the partial power of the original Sudarshan disc. So good points, no? Lord Shiva presents him with the swords within the sheath marked with the 10 moons, and his wife, the goddess Durga, presented him with the shield marked with 100 moons. The moon demigod presented him with horses made of nectars, and the demigods Vishwakarma presented him with a very beautiful chariot. The demigods of fire, Agni, presented him with a bow made of horns of goats and cows. The sun god presented him with arrows as brilliant as sunshine. The predominating deities of Bhurloka presented him with slippers full of mystic power. The demigods from outer space brought him presented of the flower again and again. Purport. This was described that King's slipper were invested with mystic powers. Paduke Yogmayayu. Thus, as soon as the king placed his feet in the slipper, they would immediately carry him wherever he desired. Mystic yogis can transfer themselves from one place to another whether they desire. A similar power was invested in the slipper of King Prithu. All this, the magical movies we used to see, it's reality from Prithu Vara's past time. Snehmati Mataji, do you want to read?
Mataji, can you tell me, can you listen to me or not? I mean,
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
hear me or not.
yeah.
Text 20, right?
Text 19.
Oh, sorry, text 19. The demigods who always travel in outer space gave King Pitu the arts to perform dramas, sing songs, play musical instruments, and disappear at his will. The great sages also offered him infallible blessings. The ocean offered him a counsel produced from the ocean. Text 20. The seas, mountains, and rivers gave him room to drive his chariot without impediments, and a Shruta, a Magadha, and a Bandi offered prayers and praises. They all presented themselves before him to perform their respective duties. Text 21. Thus, when the great powerful King Prithu, the son of Bena, saw the professionals before him to congratulate them, he smiled, and with the gravity out of vibrating sounds of clouds, he spoke as follows. Text 22. King Prithu said, O gentle suitor, Magadha and other devotees offering prayers, the qualities of which you have spoken are not distinct in me. Why then should you praise me for all these qualities when I do not shelter these creatures? I do not wish for these words meant for me to go in vain, but it is better that they be offered to someone else. Purport. The prayers and praises by the Sutta, Magadha, and Bandi all explain the godly qualities of Maharaj Prithu, for he was a sattvic incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because the qualities were not yet manifest, however, King Prithu very humbly asked why the devotees should praise him with such exalted words. He did not want anyone to offer him prayers or glorify him unless he possessed the real qualities of which they spoke. The offering of prayers was certainly appropriate, for he was an incarnation of Godhead, but he wanted that one should not be accepted as an incarnation of the personality of Godhead without having the godly qualities. At the present moment, there are many so called incarnations of the personality of Godhead, but these are merely fools and rascals whom people accept as incarnations of God, although they have no godly qualities. King Prithu desired that his real characteristics in the future might justify such words of praise. Although there was no fault in the prayers offered, Prithu Maharaj indicated that such prayers should not be offered to an unfit person who pretends to be an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 23. O gentle reciters, offer such prayers in due course of time, when the qualities of which you have spoken actually manifest themselves in me. The gentle who offer prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead do not attribute such qualities to a human being who does not actually have them. Purport. Gentle devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead know perfectly well who is God and who is not. Non-devotee impersonalists, however, who have no idea what God is and who never offer prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are always interested in accepting a human being as God and offering such prayers to Him. This is the difference between a devotee and a demon. Demons manufacture their own gods, or a demon himself claims to be God, following in the footsteps of Ravana and Hiranyakasipu. Although Prithu Maharaj was factually an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he rejected those praises because the qualities of the Supreme Person were not yet manifest in him. He wanted to stress that one who does not actually possess these qualities should not try to engage his followers and devotees in offering him glory for them, even though these qualities might be manifest in the future. If a man who does not actually possesses the attributes of a great personality engages his followers in praising him with the expectation that such attributes will develop in the future, that sort of praise is actually an insult. Text 24 translation. How could an intelligent man competent enough to possess such exalted qualities allow his followers to praise him if he did not actually have them? Praising a man by saying that if he were educated he might have become a great scholar or great personality is nothing but a process of cheating. A foolish person who agrees to accept such praise does not know that such worship simply insults him. Purport. Prithu Maharaj was an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and as Lord Brahma and other demigods had already testified when they had presented the king with many heavenly gifts, because he had just been coronated. However, he could not manifest his godly qualities in action. Therefore, he was not willing to accept the praise of the devotees. So-called incarnations of Godhead should therefore take lessons from the behavior of King Prithu. Demons without godly qualities should not accept false praise from their followers. Text 25. As a person with a sense of honor and magnanimity does not like to hear about his abominable actions, a person who is very famous and powerful does not like to hear himself praised. Text 26. King Prithu continued, my dear devotees, headed by the Sutta, just now I am not very famous for my personal activities because I have not done anything praiseworthy you could glorify. Therefore, how could I engage you in praising my activities exactly like children? Purport. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the fourth canto, 15th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled King Prithu's Appearance and Coronation.
Jai.
Uh, I
Is
really
there,
like that point. Like, if you praise a fool, it's like a insult, right? That they don't even understand that they are thinking, "Oh, I am so great," but it's just an insult to them.
yeah, many good point actually. Like, in starting, it is mentioned about the Vishnu and Lakshmi. In the materialistic people, they only worship Lakshmi. Ganesh Lakshmi during this Diwali is coming. So that time they
Yes.
worship. So it's mentioned that if they worship that, how the Ram and Sita, Ravana mentality, Ravana took Sita with
Yeah.
Ram, and many other, like how he's a Shaktavesh avatar of Lord Vishnu and all, like the Sudarshan, but it's an expansion, it's not the fully as the quality of Sudarshana, but he has the partial powers of Sudarshana. So
Yes.
all the
Mataji, in
yeah,
Diwali they do the Lakshmi Puja. They do only Lakshmi Devi's Puja. They don't do Lakshmi
yeah,
Pujan.
no, they don't
Oh,
know. Actually,
I was
Ganesha
talking.
Lakshmi, Saraswati, Ganesh Lakshmi is a fashion too.
Today is Sudarsana Yajna. Mataji is saying.
Sorry.
Like today we have Sudarsana Yajna. Mataji is saying.
Yeah, even I was thinking of
Well,
that.
yes, reading about. So it is
Of
something
Hari
Ganesha Lakshmi you are saying?
today?
No, not today. You are saying I am asking about the Lakshmi Puja. No, you said something. I did not
Yeah,
understand.
no, no, no. In general, they put the idol of Lakshmi, Ganesh, and Saraswati.
Oh, like all of them are like there's yeah, I don't know how what they have learned from where they have learned it. Like Lakshmi
Yeah,
Devi without
maybe
Lakshmi
it's
Devi.
somewhere
Like
in the Karma Kanda.
oh, right.
Hare
But
Krishna,
it can be
Namamali Mataji, do you have any comments or anything you want to discuss? You want to share?
It was really refreshing to hear this, direct verses, and yeah, when Sudarshana came, I was like, yeah. And as
Yeah,
you said, exactly, people don't know, they have no concept, no perspective about who is goddess of fortune, who is Lakshmi, what does it mean, Lakshmi, what is her function? Her function is to facilitate the service, right? She is
yeah.
facilitating. Should I speak here? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So the mercy of the Lord is Lakshmi Devi, and people don't know what actually that mercy is supposed to do and how. And people, a lot of times they get money, but they don't understand that money is just a means to service. It's not separate. And they try to separate Lakshmi Devi, and like I like that point about how
Ravana
Shaktivesh Avatar,
mentality.
she is Shaktivesh Avatar of Prithu. I love that. It's so beautiful.
Yeah,
How
even
she,
I was thinking, what a coincidence. Today is the Sudarshan Yagya, and we got the Sudarshan.
Lord's arrangements. Lord's
I need to
arrangements.
go. I need to set up this Yagya place. Let me show you all a little bit just so that some of you who came later. This is a
Oh,
Yagya
Mother,
room
is
set
it
up.
in your house?
Yeah, it's in my house.
Oh, it's looking
And
so
see
beautiful.
everything here. This is the Ishana Mula. This is northeast where they make the kalash. And right now, these are all the yantras. Yeah. It's
It
okay.
is so beautiful. Yeah.
And some of the deities will also go there. So much, so many beautiful things. Navadanya, the Navagraha
Yeah.
planets, and the chakra. So beautiful. Okay, I need to get going. Okay, Haribol.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Thank you. Mataji, what about Vishnu Shastra now?
Can you please do it with Subbalakshmi's audio?
Yeah, I'll check.
Please. Thank you. I'll stop this and record.